and welcome to a Backyard Shenanigans live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another pop-up live stream. So if you're here for the live or if you come back for the replay, I sure appreciate you. Either way, both ways. Thank you. So I am here with just a little bit of time, y'all, because I'm going to the movies this evening. I'm going to see Thunderbolts. It took a little while. I wasn't even going to go see it, y'all, but I decided to go see it. So that's what I'm doing. And the movie start at 8 o'clock and it's 4:11. So, because I got other stuff to do, of course. So I'm trying to get this done so I can do other stuff so I can go to the movies. So, before we get into this, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Click that notifications bell. Make sure it is set to all. Like, comment, and share with everyone you know. Now, let's get into the reason for this live stream. So, y'all, check this out. I went to a fruit tree growers shindig, and the people there brought cuttings of different fruit trees, and I picked up cuttings for 4 different type of fruit trees labeled here. So I have a elephant heart plum, a Sprite cherry plum, a sweetheart cherry, and a Katy apricot. Now, if you've ever grown fruit trees or whatever, you know normally the time that you will graft them or propagate them would be in a dormant season or in the time that the plant is dormant. Well, at this point, all of these trees have already budded, the leaves, everything is already going. So instead of trying to graft the trees, because y'all already know my experience with grafting, I'm 0 for 8 on my apple tree. And y'all, I'm looking at it, I still have the grafts on the tree, y'all, because I don't even want to take them off. I'm so ashamed I don't even want to take them off. But I was 0 for 8 on grafting. So this time I'm going to try rooting the cuttings to see if I can get the tree to grow like that. So like I said, I have 4 fruit trees, and I think I got at least 2 cuttings of each kind of tree. So again, elephant heart plum, Sprite cherry plum, sweetheart cherry, and a Katy apricot. I already made my labels for my containers. I got my containers here. I have my cuttings. I have my rooting hormone, which I put just like a little bit. You only need a little bit, and I would rather put a little bit and then have to add more than to dump a whole bunch in here, because once you dip the root in, now you know all of this, I can't put this back in a jar. So I put a little bit and then I'll go back and put more as I need it. I have a little bit of water because you want to make sure that the end that you dip into the rooting powder is damp, so the powder can attach to or stick to the root. I have my little cutters here. They have been cleaned and sterilized, so they are good to go. I see Jose says hi, how you doing? Aiden says hi, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. As the description is the title of the live stream, I am doing root cuttings of 4 different kind of fruit trees. I have all of my supplies here. Now the medium that I'm working with today is peat moss, perlite, and DG. Y'all, what is decomposed granite? Decomposed granite. So instead of using sand, I'm using decomposed granite. Now, most people just use peat moss and perlite, and normally I would do that, but I'm working with small containers, and once I stick the cutting in the cup, I want it to kind of be able to stand up on its own. I still might put a little bamboo stick for support, but I want it to be able to stand up on its own, and that's why I'm using the decomposed granite. Also for drainage and stuff, but to kind of give the mix I don't know, like some standing power. So I'm mixing this together, and y'all, I can't move the camera around too much, but I have the decomposed granite, which is probably about maybe 20%, and I have 30% perlite and then 50% peat moss. So I'm just mixing this together. I sprayed it down a little bit because you also want this mix to be moist. Now the decomposed granite is going to make it heavier, but it's not going to be super heavy. So I'm mixing this together. Like I said, I already wet it down, but I'm definitely going to have to add some more water. So I have my little hose right here. I'll switch it to shower. I had it on mist because I was misting some other stuff I have. Y'all, my seedlings, if you checked out like my other YouTube shorts and videos, y'all know my seedlings. The first seeds that I sowed, they were doing fine when I had them in the greenhouse, but I took them out the greenhouse, and you might be able to see some of them over here. And I think I mistakenly up-potted them in some soil that had some fertilizer in it, and I think the fertilizer actually burned the seedlings. I think it was too much. That's what I think it is. I think that's what happened. So I left them out there, and a few of them look like they're gonna survive. So the ones that survive, that's great. I'll plant them out eventually. But the ones that don't, like, that's fine too, because I'm gonna reuse that soil. So nothing will go to waste. I did start some new seeds, and those are in the greenhouse, which is right behind the camera. But check out my YouTube short and my community post, and you'll see those. So originally I sowed about 144 cells, but it probably was maybe like 136 different seeds, because I did sow doubles of some. This time I only sowed 48 cells, and it's probably 44 different seeds, y'all. And I'm trying to look at the chat, but I can't really see. The sun is like coming directly in my eyes. So let's see. Oh yeah, girl, Dad, thank you. Yes, please hit the like button. I sure appreciate y'all being here. I definitely appreciate the support. While I'm talking to y'all, I'm stirring up my mix. Is looking pretty gritty. I might have almost put a little bit too much water, but you know, we're gonna work with it. Y'all know peat moss is hydrophobic initially, and you got to get it moist. You have to get it damp all the way through, not just on the surface. Sometimes you'll water this or wet it on the surface, and it looks like it's damp, and all the middle and throughout it is dry. And if you have it in a container, the water will drain out the bottom. Definitely the water will drain out the bottom, but it doesn't mean that the water has soaked through it. What's happening is the water is traveling on the outer surface of the peat moss, and it's like coming down and it's rolling off to the side and then coming out the bottom through the holes. Let me see. Gabriel, hi. Aiden, hi. Jose, hi. Making sure I'm saying hi. If I don't immediately respond, number one is because I'm talking to you. Number two is because I'm working, trying to get done what the live stream says. And then the third thing is that the sun is in my eyes, so I can't really see the screen. But I definitely appreciate you being here, whether it's for the live stream or whether you're coming back for the replay. I really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to show you the cuttings. I'm going to show you the cuttings, and they have been in the refrigerator. I had them in the refrigerator overnight. Let me see. I got these either Wednesday evening, or Thursday evening, which was last night. I can't remember, y'all. It might have been Wednesday. Might have been Wednesday evening, and it's Friday late afternoon going into the early evening. So they've been in the refrigerator since like let's say about 11 o'clock or 11:30 p.m. Wednesday night, and I just took them out about, let's say, around 3:30. And I'm going to show you those cuttings. I'm just mixing this up, and this is pretty thick, but I'm glad that I have it moist like this, because another thing, just like when you're sowing seeds, you don't want the soil to dry out. When you're doing cuttings, you don't want the soil to dry out either. And if I don't get a chance to show you exactly what I'm doing, I'm definitely going to explain it to you. And then you'll see in a YouTube short, or you'll see in a community post, whatever it was I wasn't able to show you on the live stream. All right, so this is mixed pretty well. I have a limited amount of space here where I'm set up, so let me just put this, well, let me show you. So this is what the soil mix looks like, and it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. But this is a mixture of about 50% peat moss, about 20% decomposed granite. I use that in the place of sand, and then about 30% perlite. And that will be my mix. I'm not putting any fertilizer, no azomite for trace minerals, no earthworm castings. I'm not putting any of that. I'm not doing any of that because I don't want to use a lot of resources. I don't want to use a lot of stuff and then, you know, the cuttings don't root. After they root, then I'll you know, add fertilizer and do other stuff to them. So let me put this to the side just for a moment. And the containers I wanted to have like gallon size, or at least half a gallon size, y'all, but I didn't have that. I could have went on Amazon and, you know, like got something overnight, but I didn't. I'm using what I'm working with. So this one, this is a Bonnie cup, and this says 19.3 fluid ounce. So I have 3 of these. I have 3 of these, which is, I think this might be a 3-inch cup. So I have 3 of these, and then I have 2 of these, y'all, and I'm almost sure I got these from Dollar Tree. And they got the holes in the bottom. You definitely got to make sure that you have drainage. This has drainage. You see the holes here, and then this one have drainage. So I have 3 different kind of containers. I plan on doing 8 cuttings, 2 of each different kind. Let me see who that is. Lou, what you doing, Auntie? Hey, I'm trying to root some cuttings, my baby. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what Auntie doing today. So here is how I had them stored in the refrigerator. Like I said, for about 2 days. And I'm gonna show you what I have. And you can see on these cuttings, you see, like, they are fully leafed out. They are fully leafed out. And normally if you do grafting, you would graft before all of this growth came out on the cutting. You would do it while the tree was still dormant, and while you would see like the areas for the buds. Like, hold on, let me take my glove off. Let me show you. Oh, well, hold on. I can show you a little bit better on this one. So just so you know, so this one is the elephant heart plum. That's what this is. So this is cuttings for the elephant heart plum, and I have at least 2. If I have more than 2, I'm gonna save the extra, put it back in the refrigerator. I don't think that they would last for the time that I need to find out if the plants will root or not, but we'll see. So this is elephant heart plum. And I'm gonna sit this right here. This one is the Katy apricot, and what I wanted to show you is, you see how there are buds, and let's see, take this glove off. So you see right here, like, these are the space. I'm hoping this is not blurry or whatever, but you see like where this little red connection, this is an area that will be a leaf. And you kind of want, if you're doing grafting, to do it when the branch, the tree is in this state. If you can see, like right here, and y'all, I cannot see, so I'm not sure if you can see this, but right here you can see, like, this is either going to be a bud or a leaf coming out, like right here. Hopefully you can see this. This is when you want to you know, have your scion or your bud when you're grafting. But since it has leafed out significantly, that's why I'm doing root cuttings instead of grafting. So this is the Katy apricot, and I should have at least 2 of those. Let me put this in my back pocket. You know, and I'm trying not to get too sweaty because this is what I plan on wearing to the movie theater. Okay, this is a smaller one. This is the Sprite Cherry Plum. That's this one. So this is Sprite Cherry Plum. So I had 2 plums, a cherry, and an apricot. And then the last one I have in here, this is the Sweetheart Cherry. And you see these leaves right here, and you can tell like this is a cherry leaf. Like I just know that because right above me, this is a cherry tree. This is my mini royal cherry tree, and let me just bend the branch down if you can see it. Like you kind of see like the leaves look similar. So this is my mini royal cherry tree, and then this one is the Sweetheart Cherry. Like the leaves look similar. So let me go ahead and start with this one. Let me put this aside. Like I said, I'm working with a limited space. So, and what I did was, so I put each of these in the little Ziploc bag, and I dampened a napkin, and I put a little water in it to keep the ends, to keep them damp. And I just had this tape because when I went to the meeting, of course, I didn't bring anything, so I had to use what was available, and I used the tape so I could write the name on it, and so I could know what I had, especially because I had more than one thing. All right, so this one I actually have 3. So I got 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna do 2 of these, and then I'll try to save 1. Now let me see, I'm looking for one that has, that's kind of, and I don't think you can see this too well, but to see the one in the middle has like the thickest stem, then this one has the second thickest, and then this is the thinnest one. Now normally you would think, let me go with the thickest one, you know, let me go with the thickest one. Actually this one will probably be a better bet because the plant is going to spend time from the bottom rooting, and you want it to have the least amount of stress as possible. You want it to have energy to go into the roots, not into the stem or the leaves. So one of the first things that I'm going to do, and y'all don't cry, don't cry. I got to take these leaves off. So let me get my little thing. Now I could just break them off with my fingers, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to cut them, if I can show this to you. Hold on, let me take this glove off too. If you can see, let me see if this is, yeah, see if I can get this to zoom in. You see how they have kind of like this little bud, like right here. Hopefully this is showing, like this little bud right here, and then you see the leaf comes off, and then this leaf. I'm going to cut this about right here. So not right up against the stem, but right past that little bud. That's where I'm going to cut that. So we're going to cut this off right here. You see that? So now I have that cut off, and I'm sorry y'all if this is blurry, but you see how I cut it off like right past the little bud. I cut that off right there. I'm gonna cut off this one, so you see there's another little bud right here, and this leaf is actually kind of look like it got cut or sliced. Maybe the person who was donating this you know, kind of damaged that branch, or a bird or something could have flew on it or whatever. But and then notice I'm cutting these at like a 45 to 60 degree angle. So I have these 2 cut off. I'm actually gonna cut this one off too. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, she cutting off the leaves. I have to, because I want this stem to focus and concentrate on the roots. I want roots down here at the bottom. So I'm also gonna cut this, but I'm gonna do that one last. Now I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna cut this one also. And I promise you this, the plant will be okay. If it's gonna root, it's gonna thank me for cutting off these leaves. And then I'm gonna cut off this one. All right, so now this is what I have. Now when you're doing root cuttings, you want about 6 to 10 inches, because these first two nodes right here are gonna go down into the soil. So the first leaves or branches or growth that I will see will come off of this one, this one, and then these up at the top. Now I will be able to partially determine the health and the progress by these leaves on the top. The plant will go into like a little bit of shock, you know, that's normal, like that's okay. So these, a couple of these might, you know, kind of like wilt or dry out or whatever, just from the stress of the root cutting, like the not the transplant, but you know, the actual root cutting, and that's okay. If I see new growth coming out the top, then I know I'm successful, because I can't have new leaves without having roots. So I'm gonna leave these leaves on the top. I could actually cut these two, but I'm gonna leave them on because I know some of y'all crying. Don't but I promise you, it's gonna be okay. You know, if it's gonna root, it's gonna root. This is still pretty late in the season. Today is May 30th, like we already in June. But this is why I'm doing root cuttings instead of doing grafting. And then my last little cut at the bottom here. All right, y'all, that popped up against the window, and you see the last cutting here at the bottom. Now I'm gonna put this down. So all of these leaves right here, I took these leaves off. You see these? I took all of these leaves off, and I have this left, and this is the sweetheart cherry. So I'm hoping to get another cherry tree. Now, how long is it gonna take before this even looks like it resembles a cherry tree? Probably about 2 or 3 years, if I can get it to survive that long, y'all. But we're gonna see. That's why I'm doing this. Now I'm gonna use this cup. I'm gonna use this cup, and again, this is just, you know, a Bonnie planter. I must have bought you know, something, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Maybe somebody gave me another plant in this cup, and I saved these cups. Now let me scoop out some of my soil mix, and this soil mix is pretty heavy. Like I said, it's 50% peat moss, about 30% perlite, and then 20% decomposed granite. And I'm using the decomposed granite in the place of sand. And I'm kind of tap this in here, and it's already very moist. I'm gonna fill this up, and I might end up having to make some more. I gotta see how much like I end up with. So I'm just gonna shake this, kind of like shake this out. Now I'm gonna take and just put this in the water, kind of tilt it to the side. I want water, water, water. And why do I want this to be wet? Because the next step is for me to dip this in the rooting hormone. Now you need just enough to cover like the bottom ½ inch or inch of the cutting, and you tap off the excess. You don't need to like stack and pile up you know, extra. This is enough right here. You see that? That's probably about a ½ inch. I could try to put this to the side and kind of let it go up a little bit more, but this is good right here. So I have it covering all of the bottom, and I have it a little bit up on the side. And then literally, y'all, this is my cup. You just stick it in there. Bam. And you see, it's because of the sand, it's because of the decomposed granite that I use, that I could stick this in here, and then it just stands straight up. It's not flopping or leaning to the side. I don't have to put any kind of like a bamboo stick or anything like that. It's the decomposed granite that helps this to be able to stand up on its own. Now I'm just gonna pat this down a little bit, and here we are. Again, this is the sweetheart cherry, and I have my little labels right here. I'm going to peel one of these off before I forget, y'all, because I do not want to forget. Again, if you're here for the live, thank you so much for being here. If you're coming back for the replay, I appreciate you. What I'm doing is doing root cuttings for 4 different kind of fruit trees. I went to a little fruit tree shindig meeting last night, and some people brought cuttings from their fruit trees. And because it's kind of late in the season for grafting, even though I could try, it's possible that I would have better success if I do a root cutting. And so that's what I'm doing. And we said that that was the Sweetheart Cherry. And all I did was write the names here on this painter's tape. And I'm going to do 2. I'm going to do 2 cuttings of each type. And I'm hoping that I'll get at least one of them will survive. So we're going to put this right over we're going to put this right over the Bonnie label. And I know what I have right here, Sweetheart Cherry. Now what I'm going to do with these is I want to set up the environment for growth with these. So what I'm going to do is each one, I have 4 of these bags. Each bag, I'm going to put this in here, and hopefully I made this short enough to where I can close the bag on top. What I'm doing is creating humidity in the environment that will help the plant to root. Yep. And this is, let me see, can you, no, you can't see this. So see, I have it in the bag. It's tall enough to where I can zip this closed after I put the other one in here. And then I'm going to put this in my greenhouse, and I'm going to monitor these. You want to put them, actually, you know what, I'm going to put them on the other side of my house where I have some other cuttings, because you want to have light, but you want indirect light. Now, normally people would do this inside. If you have a garage, or if you have like a room that you kind of converted to like a seed starting room, like that's fine to do it inside, but I can't. I have to do everything outside. So instead of putting them in a greenhouse here, I'm going to put them on the pool side of my house, close underneath the house, where it is going to get some light, but it'll be indirect light, and it'll be shade for the beginnings of the growth. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do one more of these, and I'm going to do this for each of them. And you know what, instead of just sticking around and literally doing the same thing over and over and over again, because that's what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the live stream, and then I'll either do a YouTube short or community post or whatever, and then I'll show you I'll show you how it ended up being. But I'm gonna tell y'all one more trick to do when you are, let me see if that, okay, no, all right, I'm just making sure that I'm not missing any chats, or if anybody saying anything to me. The sun is still in my eyes, so I'm trying to lean close to see if anybody said anything. But the last little trick, y'all, and you don't have to do this, but the last little trick is, before you seal this all the way up, you know how you can help? You know how you can help your plant? Close this like kind of almost to the end. Can y'all see this? Close it almost to the end, and give a big exhale, and then close it. You know what I just did? I put carbon dioxide in there. And what do plants use to grow? Part of their photosynthesis, part of their growing. They take in carbon dioxide and they put out oxygen. So I just gave this plant a little boost, because I'm not putting fertilizer. I'm not putting any kind of trace minerals. I have an inorganic medium that I want the plants to root in. All it has is the root hormone. And let me show you. I'm not getting paid or sponsored for this, but I just wanted to show you. I got this at Walmart too. I checked the price at Home Depot, and I checked the price at Lowe's. I checked the price on Amazon, and Walmart actually had it the cheapest. That's why I got it from Walmart. I can't stand that store, y'all, but I mean, hey, I'm stretching my pennies just like everybody else. So that's the rooting hormone. This is the first plant This is the what I said, y'all, the sweetheart cherry, and I'm gonna do the same thing. One more for this, and then 2 of 3 more kinds. Again, let me just wrap up um what I have. So I have an elephant heart plum, I have a Sprite cherry plum, the sweetheart cherry, which you saw there, and then a Katy apricot. And this is just my labels that I made. Just took some marker on painter's tape, and I'm gonna put that around the container. I told y'all about my mix. My soil mix is only 3 ingredients. It's about 50% peat moss, 30% perlite, and then 20% decomposed granite, or which I'm using in the place of sand, and just the water. I showed you the rooting hormone. I showed you the process of what I'm doing. I showed you how I took the cutting. Like, let me see, this is one of the other ones. So which one am I gonna pick out of these? This one is already kind of starting to wilt again. Oh well, is starting to wilt, so I'm probably gonna put this one back in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna use this one. So very quickly, I'm gonna just show you this one, and then I'm gonna close the live stream. So I want to keep the top few leaves, so I'm gonna keep all these leaves up here, and all of the ones underneath I'm going to cut them off. And why am I cutting them off? I'm cutting the leaves off because I want this stem to focus all of its energy on producing roots and growing. So I'm cutting these at like a 45 to 60 degree angle. Why am I doing that? I'm doing it on an angle so when the water drips down inside of the bag, it doesn't rest flat on the stem, which could potentially introduce bacteria, some kind of bad thing. It could support the growth of mold, and I don't want any of that. I'm gonna check on these every few days. I did make my soil medium, well, soil less, but I made my medium pretty damp, so water is gonna drain out the bottom of the cup inside the bag. You want to check every few days, and you want to keep that soilless medium moist. You want to keep that moist. You want to check on it, but it could take 4 to 6 weeks, for roots. Now, how do you check? First of all, weight. Different trees. Look at that butterfly. Look. The butterflies are like they staking out my yard to see where they can lay their eggs, but the trick in the food is on them, because I don't hardly have anything planted out here right now. So, but I was saying, y'all, what was I saying? I was saying that I want the stem to focus on the roots. I'm cutting at an angle because I don't want to support any kind of growth, and I want to keep the soil moist. That's going to help with the humidity, and with the growth of the roots. And how do I check the roots? That's what I was saying. So you want to wait the allotted amount of time. Each tree, each plant might have a different allotted time. You can do research online and figure out, okay, 2 weeks for this tree, but it might be 6 weeks for the other tree. You can do that. Once you get past that time, you can very gently do a little tug on the stem. If you feel resistance, it is likely that you may have the beginnings of roots, but you don't want to snatch it out, because even if you do have roots, it's beginning baby roots, and if you snatch them out, you could have messed up your whole chance, or you could be starting back at square one, because then when you stick it back down in there, the roots gonna have to reestablish. You can, if the soil medium is dry enough, you can turn the container to the side and kind of slide the plant out, and then you can visually inspect for roots. I'm not in any rush right now. This is an experiment for me, so I'm not in any rush to hurry up and see what's going on. I'm just gonna check these every few days. I'm gonna make sure that the soil medium is moist. I'm gonna check to see if there's any like fuzzy growth, anything that's not looking good. I'm gonna check for that. But other than that, y'all, I'm gonna put this in a place that gets indirect sunlight, and I'm just gonna let it roll. Now let me see. I think I'm gonna take this one. Look like it want me to take it off, y'all. So I'm gonna cut this off. And please don't be concerned that I'm cutting off all the leaves except just for a few. Again, I'm doing a root cutting. I'm cutting the bottom too. I'm doing a root cutting because I want the plant to focus on producing roots. I don't want it to produce leaves right now. We don't need that. We don't need leaves. What we need is roots, because I can't get a fruit tree with just the leaves, y'all. I need the roots. The roots is how the tree will get most of its water and nutrition, especially to start off. So all I'm doing is putting this in water. You know, I need the bottom of the stem damp, and then I tap this in my rooting hormone. Switch this around in my rooting hormone. Just get it good, and then tap off the excess. Tap off the excess. And it's better to put less than what you need in this container than more, because once you dip your root in here, your stem in here, you can't put this back in a container. So, all right. Now I did this before I prepared the soil, so let me do that right quick. And I'm going to use another one of these cups. And I have my soil here. Just tap this down. Tap this down. And I'm leaving a little room at the top. Because if I have to mist it, you know, moisten the soil and mist it, I don't want water like overflowing out the top. So here is the stem, and I just stick it straight down in there. Bam, that's it. I'm making sure that at least a couple of these bud areas went down into the soil, which it did. Well, I say soil, but my medium. This is a soil-less medium on purpose. All right. So here it is like this. And then the last thing, y'all, I got water dripping everywhere. So I'm definitely not going to have to worry about the stems not having water. Here is my other label. That's the Sweetheart Cherry. And this is just painter's tape. You could use any kind of tape. You could use a permanent marker, you know, whatever, just to make sure you label so you know what you have. All right, now I have it labeled, and I'm gonna put it in this same Ziploc bag. Put that in here right next to its fellow plant. And see, I have enough space to zip it at the top. This little leaf right here at the top, y'all, I'm just gonna tuck that. I'm just gonna tuck that in there. I'm going to zip it closed almost all the way. But before I finish, give it a little boost of carbon dioxide. And hurry up and zip it closed. And then there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So this was Fruit Tree Root Cuttings 101. Just very basic. It's a lot of other stuff that you can do. You know, little special tips and tricks. Is other things that you can put in your soil medium. Is other soil mediums you could use. I'm not doing all of that. I'm just doing something very basic. I'm using everything that I had on hand at home. The only thing I didn't have was the rooting hormone, so I had to buy that. I got this from Walmart. It was cheaper at Walmart than what it was at Lowe's, at Home Depot, and on Amazon. So that's why I got it. If it would have been cheaper on Amazon, I would have got it on Amazon. By the way, y'all, I'm trying to get an Amazon store and an Amazon like affiliate link or whatever. I'm trying to do all of that. Hopefully it's coming down the line. You know, if it come, it come. If it don't, it don't. But I just want to let you know. And I do have other like affiliate links and stuff like that. So if you're thinking of making any purchases, if you will use my little links and my codes and stuff, I appreciate it. So this is the Sweetheart Cherry. I have these two down. I have the other 3 plants to go. I'm going to end the live stream because I need to work a little bit faster, y'all. because this probably not what I'm gonna be wearing to the movies. That sun is like beating down, and your girl got sweat dripping all down her back. So we ain't wearing that to the movie theater. Let me see. Oh, hey Nikki, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Oh, I'm wearing your color. Hey. I know I got it from the top all the way down, and I got, well, I don't have no orange pants on. Now I got brown pants. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I got brown pants to kind of like match the brown that's in here. Yeah, y'all. Hey, I was, you know, I was doing it. Let me see. Who else? Kaylin. Something about your best friend. Give your best friend a shout out. Oh, birthday today. Well, happy birthday to your best friend. Show appreciate you, you know, appreciate you for like wanting to shout out your friend. Now see, you're a good friend. You're a good friend. Let me see. G Mama Gross, hey, how you doing? I sure appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, y'all. But I'm gonna go because the sun is killing me, and I want to turn this way so I can kind of shield my face from the sun a little bit. But I can't do that with the live stream. So I'm gonna go. I appreciate y'all for being here again. I'm doing root cuttings for some fruit trees. I had the elephant heart plum, the Sprite cherry plum, the sweetheart cherry, and I had the Katy apricot. So y'all, we're gonna see. It's gonna take several weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks, if things go well. If things go bad, I'm probably gonna see that in probably like 2 weeks. I'm gonna know if it failed. But if it goes well, that'll be like 4 to 6 weeks. So look out for YouTube shorts and community posts. Y'all, if you don't see videos from me for several days or whatever, check the community tab. I do a lot of community posts, and check the YouTube shorts. So I'm gonna put this on the side and then start working on my other ones. You know what, y'all, hold on a second. I want to show you. Yeah, let me try to bring something to you. Hold on a second, y'all. Don't go nowhere. All right, y'all, thanks for waiting right quick. I just wanted to show you. So I was doing cuttings from a couple of other things. This is a snake plant, and you see how I have it in a bag, you know, with the Ziploc. You see that water in there, like it's creating like humidity. But I need to open this up, even though I have, like, you see little water beads and stuff. This is drying out. I don't know if you could see that. So I need to put some more water in here. But this is a snake plant. And then this is actually a cutting from a lilac colored rose. I have that, a lilac colored rose, and I did these on May 13th. I have some other stuff over there too that I just was kind of playing around with, like a potato and stuff. But let me just show you. So this is from May the 13th, and I can't really see any roots in here, but you can see like it's still alive, y'all. And it's from May the 13th, and this is what, May the 30th. So it's been like 2 weeks. I am, matter of fact, let me put this on. All right, put this on mist right quick, and just kind of, just a mist. You don't need like a lot. And just mist that out a little bit. This is my lilac colored rose, and if I remember, I'll put a community post of the rose because I took a picture of it, y'all. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. I'm gonna close this almost all the way. Y'all know the trick. Y'all know the trick. Give it a little carbon dioxide boost. Close it up. Make sure it's zipped up all the way. And then I'm gonna put this back where I had it. And then here for this snake plant, I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah, oh y'all, this all done dried out. It dried. I didn't check it like I was supposed to. And of course, there's no holes in the bag, you know, because I'm trying to produce a you know, like a human, kind of do like a greenhouse. It's like a greenhouse bag is what I'm doing. So close this almost all the way. Give that little carbon dioxide boost. Hurry up and close it up. And then this is the snake plant. And see, I even like wrote directions to myself, said keep moist up pot in 1 month. So I'm gonna wait for 1 month before I, you know, mess around with this and check for roots and all that kind of stuff. So I had rooting hormone up on the top. Oh look, I should have, I don't know if you could see this, but right here, that's a little bitty root like coming. Is y'all, is that blurry or am I even in? I don't know if you could see that, but there's like a little bit of root like coming right here. So maybe all is not lost. So this is a snake plant, and I just misted it with a little bit more water, gave it the carbon dioxide boost. Now I'm gonna go put it back where I had it. The same thing with my rose plant, y'all. Look for that community post, and it'll just be a picture of the rose. It's so pretty. I never seen a rose that color before. I'm not really into roses, but I'm trying to expand my palette out of just edibles into flowers and shrubs and kind of like landscape plants and flowers and stuff too. I do have I have a few flowers, and then I have some seeds that I sowed. That'll be when I get ready to do the whole backyard shenanigans tour. Y'all, it's still, I cannot get it, y'all. I can't get it together. It's so much work to do, and every time I do one thing, then I see something else I have to do, and sometimes I gotta like undo part of what I did to like do the next thing. Y'all know gardening work is never done, and when you doing renovations and beautifications of your home garden, that's also never done. But I'm hoping that I can get to a good stopping point, like at least. So y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for a while. Let me see. Oh, it's been 47 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me see. Oh, hey, yeah, stay woke from New Orleans. Yeah, how you doing? Oh, you say you love snake plants. You have 5. Well, you know what, that's another thing I'm trying to do. I want to put a few plants inside. Right now I don't have any plants inside, so I do want to get some plants going on indoors, you know, to help like clean and purify the air, good air circulation and all of that kind of stuff, and it's just a positive thing overall. So I do want to get plants inside, but y'all, right now probably a snake plant. I want something that I don't have to do anything to it, like hardly anything. Y'all put some recommendations. Hey, what's up, K Renee? How you doing? Yeah, girl, yes, it's hot, and the sun been beaming on my face this whole lot. I know y'all see the shine. Y'all see the shine. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot out here. So I want to finish these. Oh, I was saying I do want to get plants and stuff indoors, but I need something that does not, y'all, a snake plant, spider plant. I don't really like them, but something to just get me going where I can, you know, put it in there. I don't want something where I got to be worrying about like water dripping all out the plant and on the floor and all that kind of stuff. Y'all, I need like a set it and forget it indoor house plant. So y'all, in the comment section, y'all give me some recommendations. I'm talking about like easy, like set it up the first time and I don't know, water it once a month or less. Yo, that's what I need right now, because I'm busy and I got too much other stuff going on. But I want to get that started. So thank y'all very much for joining me on this live stream. If you're here for the replay, I appreciate you just the same. I did root cuttings of 4 different kind of fruit trees that I got from a fruit growers meeting a couple nights ago. It's gonna be 4 to 6 weeks. If it's successful, If it fails, I'm gonna know that in probably about 2 weeks. Either way, I'm gonna let y'all know. So thank you very much, y'all. Y'all know how I end my videos. Remember to subscribe to my channel, click that notifications bell, make sure it is set to all. Like, comment, and share with everyone you know. And until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed. Now y'all look, I can't see nothing in the sun. Hold up. Am I sure I want to stop? Yes, I am. Bye, y'all.